welcome to the first meet of the Harlan Community High School girls bowling team. We're here at Cyclone Lanes today. This is Bailey Portwood. I did the announcing last year if you tuned in for any of the meets. Like I said, today's the first meet. We're opening the season up against Kuemper Catholic. This is their first year with a program. They currently have 3 girls on their roster, and we have 6 on ours. We'll go ahead and go through the rosters as the girls start through their first frame. Today for Harlan, we have Madeline Gall, a freshman, bowling on lane 5. Phoenix Brewer, also a freshman, bowling on lane 5. Lucy DeGroot, a sophomore, on lane 5. And then we also have on lane 3, Charlie Dorr, a freshman, Haley Strom, a freshman, and Katie Stern, a sophomore. We also have for Kuemper varsity girls, we've got Ada Neppel, who is a freshman, McKinley Higley, a sophomore, and Elizabeth Segabart, a freshman. So they do have a young team. We've got a young team all around. Nobody older than a sophomore for either team. Right now we're waiting on a pin to be set up on lane 3 for freshman Charlie Dorr's first frame. And here on lane 5 we have Phoenix Brewer up for the Cyclones for her first frame. If you're not familiar with how a high school bowling meet works, all teams start out bowling 2 individual games, followed by usually a quick break to regroup and get the lanes turned off and back on, set up for the Baker format. So 2 individual games, usually a quick break, and then 5 Baker games, which are when teams have a 5-person roster. We have somebody bowl the first and the 6th frame, 2nd and 7th, 3rd and 8th, and so on. So we'll get to see that here shortly. Since this meet is just girls, it will move a lot quicker than your typical high school bowling meet. They did change some of the rules around this year. I was talking to Coach Jamie Anderson previously about this week. They changed kind of how the union sets up high school bowling so that it's a little bit more staggered as far as postseason play. So the boys do not have a meet until December, I believe. So the girls will have a couple meets that will just be girls, and towards the end of the season, the boys will have a couple meets that are just boys. So a little bit different, but I'm excited to see how that kind of plays out and helps the girls and the guys with their postseason play. Haley Strom up on lane 3 for the Cyclones. She got a 6 count for her first frame over there. And then we've got Lucy DeGroot up on lane 5. Feels like a little bit of a slower pace since it is just the girls and not as many people are here today. This is probably the least amount of people I've ever seen for a bowling meet here at Cyclone Lanes. Again, just due to it just being a girls only meet. Usually this place is packed full. If you've ever been to a bowling meet in person, you know what that looks like. Haley Strom up on lane 3 did miss one of the pins there. We have yet to see a fill for the Cyclones. Like I said, this is a very young team. We've got quite a few freshmen and then just 2 sophomores on the roster. Katie Stern is one of the returners for the Cyclones this year. She is up on lane 3 now. You will see her bowling with a modified approach to start this season. She unfortunately did have to undergo some knee surgery just 8 weeks ago, I believe. So we're definitely seeing that it's going to be, you know, kind of a challenge to start the year for her. But with her history of bowling, it won't be an issue for her. You'll see her up on lane 3 doing a modified 1-step approach. This is just helping keep some of the pressure off of her knee. Coach Anderson said, you know, it's still just a learning curve for her, as it would be for any of us in that position. Charlie Dorr up on lane 4 for the Cyclones, went in for a 6 count. Looks like that was a pretty popular count across the board in the first frames. 5 and 6 counts for a lot of our girls and also for Kuemper. like I mentioned, just a couple more unexperienced teams. This is probably one of the younger teams that Harlan's ever had, besides the first year of the program, which was my freshman year of high school. We were all sophomores and freshmen that year. So, it's almost kind of like it's, starting over. Sometimes you do have those years, though, where it's just kind of building up from the loss of seniors and upperclassmen who chose not to go out, anything like that. Haley Strom is going to go Brooklyn on lane 4 here and just leave a 6:10 up there.
Programming on HLTV Channel 15 has been brought to you by Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Do It Best Hardware, The Agency in Harlan,
Hamilton Financial Services, Fairway in Harlan, Hanson House Senior Living, Experience Life, Experience Hanson House.
Western Iowa Medical, providing outstanding service and the highest quality medical equipment and supplies in Western Iowa.
United Bank of Iowa, the difference is here, member FDIC.
Polly Jones Funeral Home, longtime supporter of Harlan Community Athletics and events.
Murtu Medical Center, committed to you, committed to our community.
Murtu Medical Center, physical therapy and rehab services.
Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex. Live well.
Patriots Choice Contracting, Harlan, Iowa, building for future generations.
Cyclone Scenic Chemical, build a bigger bin.
Dr. J's Family Eye Care, longtime supporter of Cyclone Sports in Harlan.
Family Service Community, SCSB.
Keast Auto Center, proudly serving Southwest Iowa for over 31 years.
Conducting Swampler is a proud supporter of the Harlan community, education, and student activities. We move your business forward.
Cyclone Lanes, great family entertainment, including bowling, sandwiches, and homemade buttercrust pizzas.
Haley is going to cover her spare for the first fill for the Cyclones across lanes 3 through 6. Madeline Gall up on lane 6 for the Cyclones had a much better second ball. She was able to get a 6 count off of there. This is her first year bowling. She was recruited by Coach Anderson to go out for the team. So as a freshman, it'll be exciting to just kind of see this group grow, expand their knowledge of the game, and just kind of see what they can do this year. Since they are all younger, they've got a lot of room for growth over the next few years. Phoenix Brewer up on lane 6 for the Cyclones. Got a nice 9 count. Just a 7 pin here to cover. We'll see if she's able to do so. Katie Stern just about covered, kind of a strange lead there on 4. Then again, for those of you that might not be aware or just need a quick refresher, you do have a 6-person roster in high school bowling, dropping the lowest 2-game series at the end of the individual games. That just makes the playing field even for those who might just have 5 members on their team versus some who have 6.
Got her.
Charlie Dorr was not quite able to cover that spare there on lane 3, but she did go for the count. Haley Strom up on lane 3 now. She is the only one that has had a fill so far, so count on this would be a great thing for the Cyclones. Like I had mentioned, this is a very young team, so I did speak with Coach Anderson a little bit about just how the season has been going. With winter sports, girls were just able to start practice last week. So leading into today's meet, they have had a total of 5 practices. That's not a lot if you're familiar with bowling at all, or any sport for that matter. 5 practices to kind of figure out a young team and teach the fundamentals. It's going to be difficult. So just a little bit about that. She said that the main focuses of their practice have been just getting the ball 60 feet. Not in the gutter, not any less, but just enough to hit the pin. So you are looking at about 60 feet. Along with that, we're also looking at starting and finishing positions, where they are when they get to the end of the approach, where they are at the foul line. That's one of the biggest things. So just getting from start to finish by the ball return to the approach, or to the foul line, excuse me, is just can be the biggest challenge. Figuring out how many steps you're going to take, doing that consistently, and what your pose is at the finish line. Did your arm follow through? Did you stop it right at the foul line? Just a lot of things to consider. So again, start and finishing positions are 2 of the biggest things in bowling that can impact the way that your game is going. Katie Stern was able to get a strike for the Cyclones there in the 3rd frame, which was huge. Hopefully that'll kind of set some momentum. Phoenix Brewer up on lane 5 also was able to cover her spare. So let's hopefully see some more marks throughout this as we head into the 4th frame. Lucy DeGroot's going to go just about through the nose and leave a 3-10 baby split there on lane 5. Charlie Dora is shooting at a single pin here on lane 4. As a right-hander, this should be a relatively easy spare since you are just going cross lane at it. Haley Strom had a good ball on lane 4 for the Cyclones. It's going to leave a 5-pin. Her ball did not look too bad off of her hand. So as long as she kind of does that same approach, same follow through, she should be able to cover this, no issue. Haley Strom able to cover that 5-pin there for the Cyclones. Haley did grow up being a part of the junior bowling program for many years here at Cyclone Lanes. As she grew up and kind of got involved in even more activities, bowling was kind of put on the back burner, but she always knew that once it came to high school, she would end up on the high school bowling team as well. So it'll be exciting to see her kind of get back into that bowling groove and bring a lot of past experience and knowledge to the team. Katie Stern had another strike on lane 4. Now she's at a double, which is just going to be great, leading the Cyclones in to the second half of this first game. If you caught Charlie's ball on lane 3 to start off frame 5, they just kept kind of falling. She originally started with probably a 2 count, which eventually led to an 8 count. They will need a score change there as they kind of fell late, but Coach Anderson is on that. Madeline Gall on lane 5, struggling a little bit to kind of find her groove this game. Like I said, she's a new bowler, so those challenges are to be expected. Even as you become an experienced bowler, you're still going to have those off days where everything just isn't quite clicking. So, like I said, we'll see so much growth from this group throughout the year. So it'll just be really exciting to continue following them to see what happens. Haley Strom able to cover her spare on lane 3. Like I said, she's going to be a great asset to the program. If you tuned in last year, you do know that her brother was on the high school team as well. So bowling is in their family. So it'll be, again, really exciting just to see the success that she has this season. Katie up with another good shot on lane 3. Wasn't able to get the turkey, but we will take a nice 8 count from her. Lucy DeGroot up on lane 5 for the Cyclone girls. We were able to spread out a little bit more today, as you can tell watching at home. Like I said, this is probably the quietest it has ever been for a high school meet. It almost feels a little bit eerie. It's so quiet. It feels a little bit more like college bowling once you get to some roll-offs or the finals of match play. It is so quiet in here. Charlie was able to walk away with a 9 count off her first ball here in the 6th frame. And Lucy DeGroot got the count on her 5th frame there with a 5-4 count. Nice pickup by Ada Neppel for Kuemper. Picked up a baby split there on lane 3. Good count from Madeline Gall over there on lane 6 for the Cyclones. One thing I will say, you know, kind of how I mentioned that Coach Anderson said they were working on getting the ball 60 feet. Once they're able to get the ball 60 feet is when we'll also start seeing Coach Anderson put more of an emphasis on getting to the head pin in those 60 feet. So, you know, one thing I heard from coaches growing up was never give up the head pin. That's kind of your main point of contact when you're looking at your set of 10 pins at the end of a bowling lane. Getting the head pin is just going to help your overall pin count at the end of the day. So if you're able to get the ball 60 feet, that's a win. If you're able to hit the head pin on the first shot, that's a double win. So I can definitely foresee some focus going into practice in the coming days of getting the ball 60 feet plus making sure that you're making contact with the head pin on that first ball. Katie Stern had a nice ball on lane 4, and she's going to go right into the pocket and leave a 10 pin.
10 pin she missed.
She is getting very comfortable with that one-step modified approach coming back from the surgery. I will say spares are where it gets very difficult for a one-step approach. The one-step approach is mainly used as a drill just to kind of warm up. But like I said, coming off knee surgery, it's going to be what's most comfortable for her. So she will need to, you know, kind of stick with that approach until she does feel comfortable taking a full approach. Nice cover by Charlie Dorr on lane 3, covered a 10 pin. That's her first mark of the game. Got to be a little bit of a confidence booster there. Lucy DeGroot had a nice 9 count on lane 6 for the Cyclones. Haley Strom up on lane 3 for the Cyclones, and Madeline Gall just about had a really nice cover of the 1-2-7-9. Was able to get count. Phoenix Brewers coming up on a spare, so the count in the first ball of her 7th frame is going to be very big to help the Cyclones keep improving their scores. Phoenix does miss the head pin, but she does have a nice 7 count on the spare for the Cyclones. Haley Strom unfortunately missed her spare in the 7th frame. So now we'll see if Katie Stern is able to help the Cyclones get back on track over there on lane 3.
Come on, Katie, you can do it.
Phoenix is able to cover her spare there on lane 5. She is new to the team again this year. Like I said, young team this year, but she does come from a family with a history of bowling, so I have no doubt that she will excel as the season continues. Katie Stern quite literally just nicks that pin that she had there on lane 3. It wobbled a little bit, but unfortunately was not able to fall. Lucy DeGroot did help the Cyclones out, and she got a strike there on lane 5 in the 7th frame. Charlie Dorr was able to get an 8 count off of that 9 spare in the 7th frame. Any count will help. Madeline Gall has a nice ball on lane 6, and she's going to knock down all 10 for her first fill of the game. Phoenix Brewer had another nice ball there on lane 6, going to leave a 5 pin, but again, that 9 count is going to be very crucial to go towards her spare in the 7th frame. Haley Strom up on lane 4 for the Cyclones. She's going to go Brooklyn, and she's going to get all 10, so that is awesome.
Good job, Haley.
Looks like Phoenix is going to cover that 5 pin there on lane 6.
Yep.
It'd be awesome to see Lucy DeGroot double up here to help the Cyclones out just a little bit more. Katie Stern's going to go Brooklyn, and she is going to get a 9 count as well. Madeline Gall had another nice ball on lane 5. Unfortunately, is going to go end up with a 6-7 split. Katie Stern was able to cover that 5 pin on lane 4. And we're already going to be heading into our 9th frame here today. The meet only started about 30 minutes ago, which is crazy. Like I said, it's just going to be moving a lot quicker when we only have the girls and they are able to spread out a little bit more.
That's good.
Phoenix pulled it across her body a little bit there on lane 5 that frame. Still was able to get a 6 count though, so we'll see if she's able to cover this spare. Charlie Dorr is going to lead the Cyclones into frame 9 over there on lane 3. And Lucy DeGroot is going to come back and knock all 10 down on her second ball of the 8th frame. And Charlie Dorr starts off with a strike in the 9th frame for the Cyclones on lane 3.
That was her second ball in the 8th frame. Yeah, because she never pulled her second ball. She was sitting there talking instead of holding.
Haley Strom doubles up there with another strike for the Cyclones and her second in a row personally. Lucy DeGroot and Katie Stern are going to both be up on 3 and 5 to finish up the 9th frame for Harlan. Katie's ball looks really good. It's going to go through the nose a little bit. She's going to leave a 3-pin. But with the way she's been throwing the ball today, the pocket hasn't been too bad of an issue for her. So even though she's doing that one-step approach, I am confident that this is going to be a very doable spare for her.
Right now. Get it, get it, get it. Did she get it?
And
yep.
She got it. All right, we're going to head up to the 10th frame here for the Cyclones as Pippi Segabart finishes up the 9th frame for Kuemper. Madeline Gall is going to be the first one for the Cyclones to start off the 10th frame. And she's going to have a really good ball, honestly. It's going to go right into the pocket. It's always hard when it hits like that. So she did leave an 8-10 split. So we'll just hope for the best. Get at least a 1 count there. Charlie Dorr got a 6 count for the Cyclone girls there on lane 4. Madeline is honestly going to have a really good ball. Oh, she just missed it to the left. If it would have been any further right, she would have had a really good chance of picking that up. Charlie Dorr finishes with a 107 for the Cyclones today, and Madeline Gall with a 75 for the first game. Haley Strom goes for a 3-bagger there to start out her 10th frame. 3 in a row for her, so let's see what she can do in the last 2 balls of her 10th frame. Phoenix Brewer with an 8 count on lane 6. She covers. She'll get another shot. She's currently sitting at a 116. Doesn't look like it's going to quite get over there far enough. So Phoenix is going to finish with a 116 today. Haley got a 8 count there on lane 4. Still a great count, and she is going to have a really nice game for the Cyclones. Lucy DeGroot starts her 10th frame here on lane 6 for the Cyclones. And Haley Strom is going to cover her spare on lane 4. Haley finished with a 152 for the Cyclones. The Kuemper Knights are going to finish with a 239 total. For the first game, Ada Neppel with a 102, McKinley Higley with a 75, and Pippi Segabart with a 62. Lucy DeGroot still has one more ball there. Katie has one more ball, and she's gonna leave a nasty 4-10 split there, but she doesn't have to shoot at it, so that's always a nice feeling. Or, oh, sorry, excuse me, she does have to shoot at that. I thought that she had a spare. All right, Lucy DeGroot's gonna finish with a 110. And Katie Stern is unfortunately not going to get any count on that, and she is going to finish with a 146 for the Cyclones.
146? Yeah.
All right, the Cyclone girls finished with a 706 that game. Just a reminder that they do drop the lowest 2-game series.
How do you top Pizza Ranch's legendary cheesy ranch sticks? Any way you want. Get a load of these. Our new loaded cheesy ranch sticks are now topped with an extra layer of flavor, skillet crust, melty cheese, herbs and spices, and up to 2 of your favorite toppings. They're the ultimate appetizer on the buffet or on the go. Don't you just love that new menu item smell? Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
You've worked hard to achieve success. You deserve a financial advisor that works as hard for you. At Hamilton Financial Services, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, we have the qualifications and the experience to help navigate your complex financial needs. Whether it's investment management, tax strategies, or legacy planning, we can work with you to help grow and preserve what you've worked so hard to achieve. Contact Dylan Hamilton today at 712-784-5500.
How do you game? Do you shoot your shot? Do you go for the goal? Or throw the high cheese? Whatever you do, our goal at Murtu Physical Therapy is to keep you in the game. Murtu Physical Therapy. Game on.
If you grill it, he will come.
Hey.
Is this heaven?
Nope. It's fairway.
Charlie Dorr is going to start off the Harlan girls here on lane 4 and their second game of individuals. Like I said, we'll go into Baker after this portion of the meet. Charlie starts off strong and knocks all 10 down. As we start the second game of the meet tonight, we'll go ahead and take a minute to thank our 2025-2026 sponsors here. We've got Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, Keys Auto Center, Fairway and Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conductix Wampler, The Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Murtu Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, Peterson Family Wellness Center and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex, Murtu Medical Center, and Patriots Choice Contracting. Again, thank you to our sponsors. Haley Strom started off her second game with a 6 spare for the Cyclones, and now we've got Phoenix Brewer up on lane 6. Phoenix has a nice ball. Looks like it's going to go through the nose a little bit, but it's going to leave a doable spare. Just a 6-pin to cover. And Katie is also going to go through the nose there on lane 4. Just about left the big 4, which is called, the big 4 is just the 4, 6, 7, 10, but she just left the 4, 6, 7 out of there. And Phoenix is able to cover. Oh, she just missed that spare there. I really thought she was going to have it. Katie is able to get 2 out of her split there that she left on lane 4. Now we've got Lucy DeGroot up for the Cyclones on lane 6. Lucy had a really nice 9 count over there on lane 6, just leaving a 7 pin. Charlie Dorr looking to double up there on lane 3. Kind of leaves a nasty 1, 2, 8, 10 over there, and Lucy is able to cover her spare on lane 6. Madeline Gall pulls it across her body a little bit, missing the head pin and just going straight for the 4, 7, 8 out of that pin. Looks like she also knocked off the 9 there as well. Charlie Dorr goes for count and unfortunately misses all 4 up there.
John Madeline. Phoenix is able to cover her 8 count spare on lane 5. We've got Katie Stern up, going to cover a 5 count on lane 3, which she is able to do. Charlie Dorr is going to start the Cyclones off in the 3rd frame over here on lane 4. Lucy DeGroot goes Brooklyn, but knocks down all 10. Great start to the game for her. Madeline Gall is up on lane 6 now, coming off of a 4 count spare. She has a good ball. Looks like she's going to get majority count, or she's going to get a 5 count. Charlie Dorr looking to cover the spare on lane 4. Haley Strom covers her spare on lane 4 for the Cyclones. And Phoenix Brewer looking to cover hers here on lane 6. And now we'll see Katie Stern come up for the Cyclones on lane 4. Katie's ball looks good. It's going to go Brooklyn, and she's going to leave a 5 pin there. Katie's ball looks good. She's going to cover that 5 pin. Lucy DeGroot's going to go Brooklyn again, and now she's going to leave a 3-5. A little bit of an odd lead. You don't see that too often. And Charlie Dorr looking to get a high count coming off of her spare in the 3rd frame. And she's going to do just that and get all 10. And Madeline Gall up here on lane 5. Left a 1-7. Again, not something you see too often. And Haley Strom looking to keep her clean game alive. She's going to get a 7 count over there on lane 3. Phoenix Brewer with a nice ball on lane 5, and she's going to get all 10 down on the first ball. Katie Stern and Lucy DeGroot up on lanes 3 and 5, closing out the 4th frame for the Cyclones here today. Katie's going to go a little bit Brooklyn there and leave a 6-10 on lane 3. And Lucy's going to come up a little bit light and leave the 2-4-5 here for the Cyclones on lane 5. Katie's ball looks good, and she's going to cover her spare there on lane 3 for the Cyclones. And Lucy DeGroot's ball also looks pretty good, and she's going to cover hers as well. That was a pretty nice frame for the Cyclones there. Charlie Dorr has another nice ball there on lane 4. Gonna get a 6 count there. Madeline's ball looks good, and thought she was going to get that the hard way, but leaves that 9 pin up. Charlie Dorr looking to get at least a couple out of her lead there on lane 4. Gets 2. Now we'll be back to Phoenix Brewer up on lane 6. And Haley Strom up on lane 4.
Missed the ball.
Haley with a 9 count there on lane 4 for the Cyclones, and Phoenix didn't have as great of a ball as she did the first few frames of this game, only getting a 3 count there. Nice thing about a strike is that your next 2 balls count towards that frame. So we'll see if she's able to get a higher count here in her second ball, which just kind of put her elbow out there. Winged her arm out a little too much and was not able to get any pins. And Haley Strom is going to cover her spare there on lane 4. Seen a lot more pin action this game all around from the Cyclones. A lot more fills earlier in the game. Only in the first half of the game for the Cyclones here, and I see just as many fills the first half of this game as they did for some of the girls the whole game, the last game. So improvement already throughout the season. So just like to see it start early, and again, we'll continue to see it throughout the remainder of the season. Katie Stern up on lane 4, looking to cover her 3-10 baby split here on lane 4.
Well, got one.
Katie Stern was able to get one of those out of her split, which in that case, it's the best you can ask for. Lucy DeGroot looking to cover her 7 count spare here on lane 6. Unfortunately going to miss all 3, and we'll be back to Madeline Gall on lane 5, leading the Cyclones into the second half of their second game of individuals.
Get better.
Charlie George is able to get a couple pins off of the lane on her second ball in frame 6. So we'll see if Haley Strom's able to come up and put all 10 back for the Cyclones. Just get the momentum going a little bit more again. Gonna walk away with a 7 count on her spare, which is pretty good. Phoenix Brewer brought that ball a little bit across her body there, pulled it into the left gutter. And Haley chops the 3-5 off of her leave there on lane 3. So like I said, we need to get some momentum going again here for the Cyclones, and hopefully Katie Stern can be that person for us. Much better second ball on lane 5 for Phoenix Brewer, able to walk away and get 70% of the pins, so we'll take it. Katie Stern goes through the nose Brooklyn a little bit there, was able to get a strike for the Cyclones. Just the momentum we were hoping for. Lucy DeGroot had a much better ball there on her first ball of her 6th frame. Leaves a 5-9. And Madeline Gall with a much better ball on 6. Gonna go right into the pocket, excuse me. Gonna leave a 5 pin. Madeline just misses that 5-pin on lane 6. And Charlie was not able to get any more count in the second ball of her 7th frame. Haley Strom had a 7 count there for the girls on lane 4. Much better second ball by Phoenix Brewer there on lane 6. Going to get a 7 count. And Haley Strom is going to cover her spare on lane 4.
Come on, Katie.
Would love to see Katie Stern double up here. Going to take off a little bit at the end. She's going to leave a 1-3-6 there. She has been hitting the pocket and the head pin pretty consistently though today, so this should be pretty easy to convert for her. Going to be a little high there. She is going to just get the head pin out of that. Heading into our 8th frame now for this second game here tonight. Bit of a rough start to the 8th frame here for the Cyclones. Just a couple 5 counts, no fills. We'll see if Phoenix and Haley are able to help us out here. Haley does just that and gets a strike right on her spare, so that's a great count. Phoenix pulled it a little bit, went right over to the left side of the lane, but she was still able to get a pretty good count there. A lot of 7 counts for Phoenix this game. Got Lucy DeGroot and Katie Stern up for the Cyclones to finish out frame 8. Lucy's ball looks great off of her hand, gonna go in a little bit high, and Katie was able to get all 10 back. Lucy left a 3, 6, 7, 8, 10. I truly cannot say if I have ever seen this before. Kind of an odd leave. She's going to get a 2 count on her second ball. Charlie Dora with an 8 count on lane 4 to start off the 9th frame for the Cyclones. She left a 1-3 there. And Charlie's going to be able to cover that there on lane 4, which is great for the Cyclones. Oof, Haley kind of had a rough ball there. Went right through the nose, and she's going to leave a 8-10 split. Madeline had a much better second ball for the Cyclones there on lane 6 with a 9 count. Now we'll see Phoenix Brewer. Hoping Haley can just get count here. And she is going to get 1. Katie's going to go through the nose there a little bit, but fortunately the 10 pin fell there, so she just does have a 4-7 left, which is much more doable, especially for her, because she has been bringing a lot of them. They're hooking a little too much, so this should be a much better of an angle for her. Phoenix Brewer leaves a 5 pin up on lane 6. Katie misses the 4 pin and just drops a 7 off of there. Charlie Dorr is in her 10th frame there, and she's going to finish up with a 113, which did beat her 107 the first game. Haley Strom goes Brooklyn and leaves a 3 pin there on lane 3. She can cover this and get a good count. She will also beat her first game. Ada Neppel finishes with a 121 for the Kuemper Knights. And Haley Strom is able to cover that 3 pin there, sitting at a 149 before her third ball, of the 10th frame. Madeline Gall finished with a 72 for the Cyclones, stayed consistent with her first game of a 75. McKinley Higley finishes with a 78 for the Knights. She also stayed consistent with her first game of a 75. Phoenix Brewer is going to finish with an 81 for the Cyclones. Haley Strom finished with a 158, so she led the way for the Cyclone girls today during individual games, which again for a freshman is great. Can't wait to see her improvement through the rest of the season. Katie Stern, first ball of the 10th frame is going to go Brooklyn, and she is going to leave a 9-pin there. Or excuse me, a 10-pin. My goodness. It's been a long day. Pippi Sagabart finishes with a 55 for the Knights. And Katie unfortunately misses that 10 pin, and she's going to finish with a 136.
136. Yep, that is a 6.
And Lucy DeGroot is going to finish with a 109. We'll take a quick break here as we reset the lanes and get ready for the Baker portion of the meet, and we'll be right back.
Harlan Do It Best is your best source for friendly service, expert advice, and innovative products. Whether you need to build it, paint it, fix it, or grill it, we have it all. Our full-service paint department utilizing Valspar paints can match any color for your interior and exterior painting projects. Check out our new Diablo tool aisle for all power tool accessories needed for your home improvements. Make grilling easy with our full selection of grills and grilling supplies. Harlan Do It Best, conveniently located at 1810 Chatburn Avenue in Harlan.
At United Bank of Iowa, the difference is here. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 59 and Pine Street in Harlan, you'll always find a smiling face to greet you and help you with all your banking needs. We offer competitive rates on deposits and loans, and the latest in technology with our online and mobile products. Come and find out for yourself why the difference is here at United Bank of Iowa. Member FDIC.
Hanson House Senior Living. Experience life, experience Hanson House.
All right, we are back to start the Baker portion of the meet tonight versus the Kuemper Knights. Like I said before, if you're not familiar or can't remember from tuning in last season, Baker format is when we have a 5-person roster bowl the 1st and 6th frames, 2nd and 7th, 3rd and 8th, 4th, 9th, and 5th and 10th. So typically you're going to have your really strong bowlers in your leadoff position, in your anchor positions, and then you kind of fill in just based on how people are bowling. Right now our lineup looks like we're going to start off with Lucy DeGroot. She had an 8 count, and we will see if she's able to cover this spare. She is going to miss the head pin there. Looks like we're going to go into Phoenix Brewer. This is a little bit of a tricky situation because we will have to have the Kuemper Knights will take 4 frames per game of 0 counts due to the fact that they only have 3 bowlers. So 6 frames will be accounted for, and then 4 will not be. But looks like Kuemper has to take their 0 frames in the 2nd and 3rd and 7th and 8th frames. So then they will only have bowlers in the 1, 4, and 5 positions. Phoenix Brewer up for the Cyclones on lane 3, and she's going to walk away with a 6 count off of her first ball. Phoenix, unfortunately, is going to leave those 4 on the deck, and we will head into our third bowler for the Cyclones, which appears to be Charlie Dorr. Coming into today's meet, Kuemper is entering 0-1 on the season. They did bowl the Nevada Tigers earlier this season. Charlie gets a 9 count on her first ball, leaving 3 pin on lane 3 for the Cyclones. We have yet to mark this game, so it'd be great to see her cover this spare. And she's able to do just that. Katie Stern is bowling 4 for the Cyclone girls. Had to wait for a quick pin set up there on lane 3. The 3 pin unfortunately fell down, so we had to wait for that to get set back up for Katie to shoot at. Fortunately, she's only going to chop the 8 off of that. We have Haley Strom bowling in the anchor position, which based off of her scores is right where she needs to be. Looks like there might be a little bit of a pile up on the pin table in the back, so assuming my dad is going to have to go back and fix that. When the rack came down, it looked like there might have been some pins that just kind of were not where they were supposed to be. So we will see what happens. The Kuemper girls finished that first game. Oh, sorry. Maybe they're not done. Oh, they filled in their 10th frame. Haley Strom's only going to knock a 5 count off there. And it looks like Kuemper is set to finish with a, we'll see. I couldn't do quick enough math by the time the score went away. Haley does go ahead and cover that for the Cyclones, and the Kuemper varsity girls finished with a 44 that game. Like I said, it is just going to be really hard when you have to take 4 frames worth of zeros. It makes it a little difficult to feel like you can get a good score. Lucy DeGroot started off the second half of the game for the Cyclones with a 7 count off of Haley Strom's spare in the 5th frame. Getting a good count on that. And she is going to chop off 1 out of her leave there. So we'll see what Phoenix Brewer is able to bring to the table. Another fill here would be great. We have yet to see all 10 back on the first ball for the Cyclones in Baker. Much better second ball by Phoenix Brewer. Able to get a 9 count there. Then we'll be back to Charlie Dorr in the lineup. Charlie's also able to get a 7 count there. 7 counts are pretty good for this team. With how young they are, a lot of new bowlers. 70% of the pins on the first ball is not going to be too bad. If you're able to do that, there's a lot for Jamie to do. Coach Anderson definitely has a lot of work to do with these girls, but as long as they're putting in the work and practice, I do have no doubt that they will see a lot of success in the later part of their season. Charlie Dorr was able to knock down those last 3 pins in the 8th frame, so now we will be back to Katie Stern in the lineup. Off to 10 pin, but did have a really nice ball. It did go Brooklyn, but finding that head pin and finding at least one of the pockets is going to be just what this team needs. Really good ball, and she covers that 10 pin with ease. Be back to Haley Strom in the lineup to finish up game 1 for the Cyclones. He was able to get an 8 count there, which is great off the spare. Left a baby split, the 310. This is a pretty makeable split conversion. Just kind of have to angle your ball to go right in between the 2 of those pins. I'm sure she has picked this one up before. Or you can hit it the hard way and hope that the 3 pin knocks right into the 10 pin. And we'll see what she has. And she's going to do it the hard way. So she'll get one more shot here in the 10th frame. Harlan's going to finish with a 130 for their first Baker game. No immediate lineup change for the Harlan varsity girls as Lucy DeGroot kicks off the second game here. Just a reminder, we do 5 Baker games. She's going to leave a 7-pin standing there, but a very nice first ball. And great second ball. She's going to cover that 7-pin with ease. Madeline Gall will be in second for the Cyclones, replacing Phoenix Brewer. Madeline Gall had a 7 count on that spare from Lucy DeGroot, and she is unfortunately going to miss 3 in the second ball. So we'll be back to Charlie Dorr for the Cyclones. Charlie Dorr with a nice ball for the third frame. It's going to go right through the nose though, and she's going to leave a 4-7 or a 6-7-10, excuse me. Charlie not able to get any of those down. Their second ball, so we will see if Katie Stern can help the Cyclones get back on track and get some good count here in the fourth frame. All right, she's going to leave a 10-pin here on lane 4, but that was a great 9 count there. It was a great ball off her hand.
She goes.
And Katie's going to be able to convert that 10-pin there, which was much needed for the Cyclones. Now we'll see Haley Strom up again in the anchor position for the Cyclones. Haley's going to cross over and go kind of through the nose there a little bit, and she's going to leave a 6-10. Much needed count on the spare. Haley is going to get over there and get both of those. Hopefully this sets the Cyclones up for a big second half of this second game here tonight. Lucy DeGroot with an 8 count to start out the second half of the second Baker game for the Cyclones. Nice cover on the spare for Lucy DeGroot. 3 fills in a row for the Cyclones. This is tremendous, so we'll see what Madeline Gall is able to do. A nice count here on the spare would be great for the Cyclones. Doesn't look too bad off her hand. It's going to go on the Brooklyn side, and she's going to get all 10. Kuemper is going to finish with a 61 for their second Baker game. Rough shot for Charlie Dorr there. Only got a 4 count there. Not a great position to pick up this spare, just based on the fact that she doesn't have the 8-pin or the 5-pin in this rack. We'll see what she's able to do for count. And she's able to get all of them, which is awesome. Katie Stern has another nice ball. She's going to go Brooklyn and hopefully get all 10. It was a really good ball off her hand. It really took off there at the end. It's got a 9-10 split up there now. Cyclone girls have already beat their first game. Really helps that they had a nice stretch of 5 fills in a row. Katie's going to be able to chop the 9 off of there. And Haley Strom has a 8 count to start off the 10th frame of the second game here tonight. Got over just far enough to cover that, so we'll have one more ball up here for Haley in the second game. believe the Cyclone girls finished with a 150 on the nose.
150.
Keep improving. Keep improving.
All right, that game was a 150 for the Harlan girls, improving by 20 pins from their first Baker game. So they're on pace to have a great set for Bakers. As we head into the third game for Bakers tonight, we will take another moment to thank our sponsors. We have Cyclone Lanes, KNOD Radio, Pizza Ranch in Harlan, Keast Auto Center, Fairway in Harlan, United Bank of Iowa, Do It Best Hardware, Conductix Wampler, the Agency Insurance, Western Iowa Medical, Dr. J's Family Eye Care, Cyclone Seed and Chemical, Shelby County State Bank, Hamilton Financial Services, Hanson House Senior Living, Polly Jones Funeral Home, Murtu Medical Center Physical Therapy and Rehab Services, the Peterson Family Wellness Center, and Lewis Family Aquatic Complex, Murtu Medical Center, and Patriots Choice Contracting. Thank you to our sponsors. Switching the lineup, we do have Charlie Dorr leading off for the Cyclones, only able to walk away with a 2 count off of her first ball in the first frame. She's going to come back and get just a few more for the Cyclones, finishing with a total of 8 pins. Now we have Madeline Gall in the 2 spot. Madeline with a 5 count for her first ball. Harlan Gall almost able to convert that. The 10 pin just didn't want to fall there. We do have Phoenix Brewer back in the lineup in the 3 spot. Hoping to get a fill here to get the momentum going a little bit here on the third game. Brings her across her body a little bit and is only able to get a 1 count. Knocked the 7 pin off of there. Phoenix unfortunately brought it right across her body again, and it's not going to get any further count in the 3rd frame. So we'll be to Katie Stern in the 4th frame for the Cyclones. Katie Stern with the 9 count on lane 3 for the Cyclones. Hoping that she can cover the spare here. We need to get something going for the Harlan girls here. All right, there we go.
I miss bowling. Do you want to me tonight? Huh? You want to me tonight? Nope. What time do you go? 7? 7.
Looks like we might have a little bit of a pin jam on 3. We've got Joe going down to take care of it. I swear all the lane problems only happen when the cameras are rolling. We'll get through a whole night of league and maybe have 1 pin jam, 1 pin fall on the lane. But as soon as you turn those cameras on, they all tend to happen. All right, and Haley Strom knocks all 10 back, which is just what the Cyclones needed. Kuemper is going to finish with a 36 this game. Fortunately, they did not see any fills that game. Charlie Dorr back up for the Cyclones. She's going to get a nice 9 count, which is going to be great coming off of Haley Strom's strike in the 5th frame. Brought that across her body a little bit in what I got the 4, but she had the 6 pin there. So we'll see if Madeline Gall can get a fill here for the Cyclones and get us back on track. All right, Madeline Gall comes back from the gutter on her first ball with a 6 count for her second. Phoenix Brewer is now up for the Cyclones. Phoenix Brewer able to get a 7 count on her second ball of the 8th frame. Now we'll be back to Katie Stern in the lineup. Katie's going to go right in the pocket, and she's going to hit that 2-pin out of range. So I'll be interested to see if, yep, it's just going to sweep it away because it went out of range.
Yes, just kidding. James got it. Oh, she lost her 3 pins.
You want me to get it just like all the pins? I can. But I'd be down there with Joanne.
All right, unfortunately, we will have to wait for Katie's split to be put back up due to the way that it pushed the 2-pin out of range. The pin setter's not able to pick the pins up, so then it just sweeps it away. So looks like my dad went back there and he'll be setting it up from the back just because there's more than just a couple pins to put up, and they are on different sides. So he'll get that set up, get the rack back in its normal cycle.
Listen to 105.3 KNOD. KNOD covers local, state, and world news. KNOD covers your favorite local high school sports, the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Chicago Cubs. KNOD covers Brownfield Ag News programs. KNOD plays the hits you want to hear from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. KNOD has great advertising rates for your business. Call 800-876-KNOD for more info. 105.3 KNOD.
Cyclone Lanes in Harlan is your total family fun entertainment center. Known for our homemade buttercrust pizza, we also offer great burgers and a variety of other sandwiches and sides, all available to eat in or carry out. Cyclone Lanes is available for birthday parties, company outings, and church youth groups. Laser bowling starts on Friday and Saturday evenings at 8 p.m. We invite you to come enjoy some fun family entertainment and great food at Cyclone Lanes in Harlan.
Family, service, community. At SCSB, we put our values front and center in everything we do. That means offering incentives and education to help young people start strong financial habits early, supporting our local ag producers and small businesses with the financing they need to succeed, and giving help where and when the community needs it, because we want you to know that we're there for you when you need it. Start your financial future with SCSB, your financial partner for every stage of life.
All right, Katie's going to knock off 2 of the 3 pins there. So now Haley Strom will lead us into the 10th frame.
Now it's going to leave the 1 pin for.
Haley's going to go and get all 10 right away, which was much needed for the Cyclones.
I don't know exactly. I couldn't tell what one it was.
I know, it was weird.
Right, Haley Strom had an 8 count after her strike to start off the 10th frame. She can get this picked up. The girls will finish with a 108. If not, we'll finish with a 106.
thing is that if you go to YouTube now, you can find it and find the spot right because it is live.
No, we only do 5 of these. Until we go to a bigger batch, and then it's 15. Okay, 1 second, hold on. Hold on. You're missing a pin. Thanks, guys.
Hey, we're here for you.
She said freeze, so I was like, everybody
clap your hands.
All right, we've got Lucy DeGroot back in the leadoff position for the Cyclones. And a pretty good ball right off her hands. Gonna go through the nose a little bit and unfortunately leave something not very pretty. Don't know anybody who would want to willingly shoot at something like that. That is the 4, 7, 9, 10. Very nice pickup by McKinley for the Kuemper Knights. We'll see if Lucy's able to get at least some count here. Looks like she's going to get 2 of them for the Cyclones. Phoenix Brewer is going to be in the 2 spot for the Cyclones. Very nice ball for Phoenix Brewer for the Cyclones. She left a 4-7 there. Very nice ball by Phoenix. She's going to knock down both of them there. And we'll have Madeline Gall in the 3 spot for the Cyclones. Madeline with an 8 count for the Cyclones, leaving the head pin, which it makes this a very doable spare for her second ball. And she picks it up. All right, we'll be back to Katie Stern for the Cyclones in the 4 spot. Nice 9 count by Katie Stern for the Cyclones. Came in a little bit high into the pocket, but single pin spare on the side that should be a little bit easier for her with this modified 1-step approach. Put that ball a little
further outside than anticipated just by the look on her face. So it came up, but just not quite enough to get across the lane to where she needed it. Haley Strom still in the anchor spot for the Cyclones. Another good ball, and she is unfortunately going to leave a 5-7 split there. Oh, Haley just about picked that up there, but was able to get the count, so we'll take that. Play back to the top of the lineup with Lucy DeGroot now. Another mark for the Cyclones would be really good leading into the second half of this game. Lucy's going to walk away with a 7 count off of her first ball today. Lucy, unfortunately, is going to miss all 3 of those there, and we'll be back to Phoenix Brewer in the lineup. Nice ball by Phoenix. Isn't going to quite get to the head pin, and she's going to get a 5 count there, but she can still get a pretty heavy count on the second ball here, if not pick it up. Kuemper finished with a 50 for their 4th game of Baker. They will take a quick break as the Cyclones finish up their 4th game, currently sitting at a 70 in the 6th frame.
They're done and their score was 6. She missed it.
Phoenix unfortunately pulled that across her body a little bit and ended up in the gutter on the left side. We will be back to Madeline Gall in the lineup for the Cyclones. Madeline is going to hit the left side pocket and then leave a 5, 6, 10. Right here, we just want to see a high count. She went the hard way and got the split out of it, but unfortunately was not able to knock off the 10 pin with it. Katie Stern is up for the Cyclones in the 9th frame. Hopefully can do something to set Haley up for a very strong 10th frame here, as we haven't had a fill since the 3rd frame of this game. Good off her hand, right into the pocket, and she is going to leave a 10 pin though.
She's gonna get it. She's gonna get it.
All right, Katie covers that 10 pin with no issue at all, and then we'll be back to Haley Strom to close out the 10th frame of the 4th game. After the 3rd game, your Harlan Cyclones are leading 16-14 to Kuemper's 634. Haley crossed over into the left side pocket and left a 9 pin.
She'll get it.
Haley covers it with no issue, so she will get a third ball here in the 10th frame.
One more ball.
After a very iffy game, the Cyclones are still able to break 100, sitting at 103 in the 9th, technically 113 in the 10th, plus whatever count Haley is able to get here. Cyclones are going to finish with a 120 for their 4th game.
How much was that one?
120.
Which was, how much?
120.
All right, we'll see if Coach Anderson plans to make any adjustments to the lineup heading into the 5th and final Baker game of the night. After the 4th Baker game, your Harlan Cyclones are sitting at a 1734 to Kuemper's 684. Unfortunately, due to the lack of the 4th and 5th bowlers for Kuemper, this will be a pretty easy win for our Harlan Cyclones, which hopefully just gives them the confidence that they need to start off this season as such a young team. Room to grow is an understatement, but I know Coach Anderson has a lot of plans for them as they continue on with the beginning of their season. The Cyclones will be at home again, girls only, versus OABC IG on November 24th. That meet will also again be at 3:45. Lucy just missed that 7-pin, but was able to get count and finish the first frame with a 9 count. So we'll be back to Madeline Gall in the 2 spot for the Cyclones. Madeline with a nasty 6-7-10 split there. Again, when we have these splits, all we can ask for is high count. So as long as she can knock that 6-10 off of there, I know Coach Anderson will be happy.
Oh, darn. She overcorrected it.
Charlie Dorr up for the Cyclones. She's going to start with an 8 count. Left the 1-5. Not an impossible leave, but one that we do see more often than you would think. Charlie Dorr misses both pins in there, leaving the Harlan girls at a 24 going into the 4th frame. No fills yet for the Cyclones in this game, but we do have Katie Stern up now, and she has had a pretty good day during Baker's. She was also the 2nd high series for the Cyclones, sitting at a, let's see, hope we don't have the totals. The total's quite up there yet, so Katie was able to pull away with a strike to set Haley Strom up for a big 5th frame here for the Cyclones.
Why thank you for... Yeah.
Haley Strom had an 8 count there, left the 1-2. on the lane. This is a very doable spare. I am confident that she'll be able to pick this up, and then that'll leave the Cyclones at 2 fills, hopefully. Just missed it. Didn't quite come up like she had anticipated. So now we'll be back to the top of the lineup with Lucy DeGroot. This will lead us into the second half of the 5th Baker game, which is the final Baker game of the night. Lucy DeGroot goes Brooklyn there and gets a 9 count, leaving the 3-pin up. Fortunately, the 3-pin drops and will need set back up. So we'll take a brief moment of pause for that.
At Keist Auto Center, it's our mission to be the automotive home of Ford, Chevy, and GMC drivers in Southwest Iowa. Conveniently located just off Highway 59 in Harlan, we provide a vast selection of new and used vehicles, exceptional car care, and always deliver customer service with a smile. As your hometown auto dealer, we strive to make every transaction an easy one. Call or stop by today to get in touch with a member of our team and let us know how we can serve you today. Keist Auto Center, proudly serving Southwest Iowa for over 31 years.
At Polly Jones Funeral Home, compassion is our foundation. As a proud family-owned and operated business, we understand that during times of loss, empathy and understanding make all the difference. Our dedicated professionals, rooted in family values, are here to answer your calls and address your questions and concerns. With 3 locations in Harlan, Avoca, and Denison, we're available whenever and wherever you need us to provide customized services for every family we serve. Polly Jones Funeral Home, proudly serving our communities for over 90 years.
All right, Kuemper finishes their 5th and final Baker game with a 48. And Lucy DeGroot unfortunately misses that 3-pin. We'll be back to Madeline Gall for her last frame of the night. Madeline able to recover from the gutter on her first ball of the 7th frame with a 9 count. So now we'll be back to Charlie Dorr for her last frame of the night. Cyclones have only seen 1 fill so far this game with Katie Stern's strike in the 4th frame. We'll see a 5 count from Charlie.
If I break it and I tell you to fix it, then you will see. I
Charlie Dorr was able to get 4 out of the 5 that she left up there for her final frame of the night. And we'll be back to Katie Stern, who can hopefully knock down all 10 again like she did in the 4th frame of this game. Looks good off her hand. Might go Brooklyn there, but she's going to be able to knock down 9, leaving the 10 pin standing. Fortunately, she does not put that spare ball down where she wants to and misses the 10 pin there. This will probably end up being our low game of the night, unless Haley can have a big frame and get all 3 strikes, which would be great for the girls here. The first one would be huge. She's also going to leave a 10 pin here, and we're hoping that we can see her convert that. Haley's able to cover that spare. Sitting at a 96th in the 10th frame, plus whatever count Haley gets here. If she strikes here, they'll end with a 106, which will tie their low game of a 106 for the night that they had in the 3rd game. Anything lower than that will be their low game for this evening. She is going to get a 8 count, and we're going to finish with a 104, I believe. All right, well, thank you again for tuning in for the first home meet for our Cyclone girls this season. They will be back in action on November 24th here at home versus OABCIG, and I will be here again to commentate that live. So thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoyed the first meet of the season. The girls are going to walk away with the win tonight over Kuemper. We are waiting for the manager to input their final scores, so once we get those in, we will announce those. So she did that all in the time that I talked, so we are going to finish with an 18:38 for the Harlan Varsity girls tonight to Kuemper's 7:32. Again, our girls will take home the win tonight versus the Kuemper Knights.